Hello everyone, it's Victoria. I'm going to be using Photoshop to build a mock-up for a website. Photoshop is a huge program, so obviously I'll only be showing you just some basic components to the program given the amount of time. This is an example of one of the pages I built for a website. You've got a top banner, some top navigation, some content, image, a button. The great thing about Photoshop is you can build your visual components with just amazing tools and a lot of flexibility, and then you can slice up those components and bring them over to a program like Dreamweaver and create your HTML and your CSS so that you can get it web responsive and interactive. So let's go ahead and create a new file, File New. For the presets, let's select Web. I want 72 pixels per inch, and make sure you don't color manage this document and hit OK. The first thing that I want to show you, I'm going to hide that, is up here you'll see this ruler, and when you click on the ruler you can drag down a guide. When you release, it'll drop that guide, and this is going to be a tool that'll allow you to create a grid that you can more easily make shapes inside of Photoshop. So I'm going to create some left navigation and a top banner, and this is just a basic grid. I'm just eyeballing it. Now let's say I don't like where I placed one of these grids, and normally I'd be much more precise and mathematical about my proportions, but I'm just going to throw some stuff down. When I hover over a grid or a guideline, it'll create that pinch icon, and so I can click and move my guide, or I can click and just drag it right back up to the ruler, release, and it's gone. So I'm going to want one. So I'll just adjust it to where I want it. Now let's go ahead and Command S to save. We're going to title this Demo 1. Now I'm going to go over to this rectangle. Well, actually, first let's get some color. My first layer is the background layer. Every component that you build in Photoshop needs its own layer so that they can be so that if you ever need to make changes, you can deal with things independently, and that you don't have to start over from scratch, but you can item by item change things, and you haven't ruined the integrity of the piece because it's all built on separate layers. So go over to your tools, select Paint Can. Here's my panels. The great thing about your panels is if you need to view them more, if you need more space, you can pull them out by clicking and dragging and release that, and I can now see my color swatches better. So I'm just going to select, I think, a gray color for my backdrop. Now my paint can is back, and I've colored everything gray. I'm going to put my swatches back. I just grab it, and when that lights up blue, I can release and it's back in its place. I'm going to select now that move tool, and it's just a good practice to save a lot in Photoshop. Sometimes you can't even move on until to the next function unless you've saved, so it's just a good habit. It makes moving around in Photoshop smoother. Let's go to Layer, New Layer. I want to create a top banner, and so I need to create a new layer in order to do that so that it's not integrated with my background but a separate piece on top of it. So I'm going to call it Banner. Hit OK, and now you can see in my layers panel I've got a banner layer and I've got a background layer. Let's go to our rectangle marquee, and I want to show you under View. You can see that I've selected my ruler is on, my snaps are on, and you can see what am I snapping to? I'm going to snap to my guides and I'm going to snap to my layers. I haven't made any slices, so I'm not going to snap to that right now. But this will enable me when I try and create shapes within Photoshop that it'll kind of intuitively grab to what I'm close to. So you can see it's highlighting pink because it's snapping to the guides. Okay, so now I've created a rectangle. I'm going to select my paint can, and maybe I decide that I want, I don't know, a light blue. So I'm going to select that swatch and put it in there. And Command S will save, hit OK. And then Command D will deselect those marching ants. Go ahead and put your swatches back if you want. If you want to get a look at what you're building and you want those guides out of the way, just Command : will move them, and you can see what you've built so far. Another function is Command apostrophe or quotes, and this turns on your pixel grid. So when you zoom in, if you want to even see just pixel by pixel when you're needing to do precise work, it'll give you an accurate image of that, so that you can even pull, Command Z undo. When you're zoomed in, if you want to, why is it doing that? Sorry. If you need to come up alongside your ruler, you can see exactly what your exact coordinates are for precise work. Okay, the next thing that I want to do, I'm going to turn my grid off for now because I don't need it, is let's go to Layer, New. We'll title this one Left Nav. Hit OK. Rectangle marquee again. You can see I'm highlighting that layer, so we're good to go. You can create another shape, release it, it's snapping to the guide, and then select your paint can, what color you want. I just want it that same color, so I'm going to drop it there. I'm going to deselect, grab my move tool, and I'm going to Command S to save. And then I'm going to, maybe I'm going to pull over another guide, and I'm going to create another rectangle for content. I don't like that there. Let's maybe go there. So I am going to grab, well, actually I have to create that new layer. Always a new layer for a new piece. Let's call this homepage content. Rectangle marquee. Create your shape. And then let's go ahead and grab your paint can. Maybe I want this to be white for content, so I go ahead and put that in there. Select my move tool, Command S. I'm going to Command D, deselect that. I'm going to hide Command colon. I'm going to move that so I can see what I've created. If you ever want to see it better, which right now it's not a big deal, but you can go down here to this and select screen mode, and then hit it again if you want to go to full screen. Command R will hide that ruler. You can use your fingers to just zoom out and see what you've made, and escape will bring you back to your main page. So there you have it, just the bare bones basics of Photoshop. Thanks.